Frumess talks about Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Let's all talk about Halloween, Silver Shamrock.
The synopsis for Family Dinner, made in 2022, directed by Peter Hengl. Hengl, is that how you say it? This is the plot. Overweight and insecure, Simi spends Easter weekend with her famous nutritionalist aunt. The hope is that it'll help her get on a healthier track, but as the aunt's family's icy dynamics and an increasingly malevolent atmosphere leave Simi feeling uneasy, weight isn't the only thing she is about to lose. This was a cold, dark movie. Here's what I wrote. So far in this year's watch, we have discussed premises like, what are they doing with the bodies at the morgue? And is it real or not real? We can't tell. And now we have arrived at what is that mystery meat they are eating? You can smell it a mile away and you know the answer. And still, you take the journey to see how we arrive at such a conclusion. So all throughout this family, before this family dinner is even going to commence, Simi, she's fasting with her nutritional guru aunt and her husband. And they are, there's something up. There's something up. And you could tell what's on the menu. Something's going to be on the menu. And man, in this case, it is as cold-blooded as it gets. The story focuses more on the protagonist's wants as a character than the inevitable revelation that is coming. I mean, do I really have to spell it out for you? Family dinner, hello, the revelation. I mean, it's pretty gnarly, man. And the protagonist's wants that I'm referring to are the desire to lose weight is more at the focus, and the revelation is more in the background. But when it comes, it smacks you right in the face. The movie does a great job of building to the moment and allowing us to imagine the worst of what has happened. There are two types of ways to tell a story that's really grisly and really and it's funny too, like, why am I watching this shit with everything that's happening in the world? Like, why am I watching these things? I specifically didn't watch Terrifier 2 because I was like, I know what's probably in it. I don't think I can handle that. Like, I just don't think I can handle it. And I'll tell you, I couldn't really handle the violence of Family Dinner. But like I said, there's two different ways that grisly stories are told. One is the incredibly graphic way, with graphic detail, showing us everything that's happening. And the other way is to imply everything. And that's the route that this movie takes. And I'm grateful for it because I think it was, it's done. It's, it's more effective in that way. It allows us to imagine the worst of what has happened. So we see some aftermath, but we have to paint the picture in our heads, and it's a brutal picture, and it's definitely not a picture that I need in my brain at this moment. The movie post-reveal sort of fizzles out in a very anticlimactic way, but it didn't really affect me because the discovery was so horrific. Yeah, so this moment was so impactful that I wasn't really like, whatever came after didn't really matter all that much. But there's not much of a I don't know if you want to call it a third. I guess that brings us into the third act. Oh, that's not true. The second act, when she chooses to stay, when he leaves, I'm trying to break this down. I'm trying to break this down into a 3-act structure. I'm not sure if it exactly fits in 3 acts. But I would definitely say that the third act, the climax of the third act is the family meal. And then everything else, the winding down action is what when she takes on her aunt and the uncle and the step uncle, whatever you want to call it. And it's just not, it just kind of falls flat. It's a little flat. But the buildup was so good. The movie is it's a slow burn, and it's just done so well that everything that comes after, you're kind of already like numb and dull. Your senses are dulled, so it doesn't really matter. There's something so cold and brutal about European horror films in general. This one comes out of Austria, and it's streaming free on Amazon Prime Freevee. So I definitely recommend checking it out. It's good. It's really good, really good. And yeah, it's one of those. In fact, I would, it's not as brutal as what did I watch last year? The Speak No Evil. One of the hardest movies I've ever seen. Like one of the hardest movies one of the most brutal, visceral, gut-wrenching films I've ever watched in my life is Speak No Evil. Um, as well as a movie that's in this show, which I'm going to speak about in a little bit. And I would put this is almost like an entree, an appetizer for something like that, I guess would be the best way to describe it. I don't know. Definitely recommend it, but make sure that your brain is tempered to handle what this movie is and what is coming, because it will trip you up. I gave Family Dinner 3.5 stars on Letterbox.